Single of 40 podcast. Let's go. Still here at the Hotel Carousel. Glenn's still in the background.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today's episode, we got another cool guest. This is Keith from Fun in the Philippines YouTube channel. What's going on, Keith?
How you doing?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming on.
Well, it's my honor, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, we're in 2025 now. So I love the name of your channel, Fun in the Philippines, because I love that old saying, it's more fun in the Philippines, because it really is.
It really is. It's like being in paradise.
For sure. So let's get into your background. Where are you born and raised? Where are you from?
I was born in Miami, Florida, but I grew up in the Carolinas. I grew up in South Carolina, North Carolina, and went to high school in North Carolina, went to grade school in North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina.
Okay.
And they just got hit by a major flood, 1,000-year flood.
Seen that on the news.
Yes.
Sad.
It was terrible. And then I went to community college, which was supposed to be 2 years, but it took me 3 years. Too much raising hell and,
Having a good time.
Yeah. But I finally got focused. And then after community college, I spent the next 25 and a half years as a public safety, fire police.
Okay.
And
so what was first, police or fire?
it was public safety. You did both.
Oh, okay.
And then after so many years, they did away with the fire department. They had Asheville take that over, and then I was just a police officer.
So when did you retire from that?
5 years ago in a month.
Okay.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
So what brought you to the Philippines then?
Wow.
Well, let's get into that story.
Well, listen, I first came to the Philippines in 2017. Never came to Angela City. Went to many other places, and I just fell in love with it. I knew the first day I came to the Philippines, I knew that this is where I wanted to be.
That fast, the first day.
I knew.
It's a good feeling.
Filipino people are so sweet, for the most part, so sweet. And the 7,000 islands, it's just not all Angela City. You got over 7,000 islands, and I just fell in love.
So let's back up a little bit. So what made that trip happen? Like, how come you picked, I'm going to go visit the Philippines? Like, where did that come from?
I knew a beautiful Filipino, and she brought me here.
Okay.
And
how did you meet her?
she had a car accident, and this was a long time ago.
Okay.
She had a car accident, and I worked the car accident.
So you met her while you were working?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, come with me to the Philippines?
Well, that was many years later.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't right away.
Yeah.
She probably wasn't happy because I found her at fault.
So she's the first one that brought you here?
Yes, and then
And would you come over for like a small trip, just to check it out?
yeah, I came for a couple weeks, and then I came in 2018, and then I got locked out. 2019, I think I came, and then after the lockout, I came back one time, and then I went back, sold all my stuff, gave all my stuff away, sold my car, gave everything away that I couldn't sell, and I came for good, and I've been here almost 2 years.
Wow.
So what were you doing back in the States at that time when you made the decision, like, fuck it, I'm selling everything and going to the Philippines? What were you up to?
Well, I had to retire because my mother had an accident, so I was taking care of my mother, and then I got her where she needed to be. So I went back to work at a nursing home, and after working at that nursing home, some of the people I became friends with, the older people, they told me, while you're young, while you feel good, you better do what you want. And I took that to heart. So I came.
That's awesome.
I never looked back.
I follow a guy on Instagram and Facebook. His name's Gary V, and he always talks about living with regret. And he says if you don't want to live with regret, he literally says go to an old person's home and talk to somebody in their 80s, 90s, 100 years old, and hear what they have to say. And he's like, they're going to give that advice that you got. So it's awesome to hear somebody that actually lived that.
Yeah. I mean, I would make friends with somebody and drive them to their appointments, and 6 weeks later they'd be dead. It was hard. It was hard on me because I know it's only 6 weeks, but I started to love that person.
Yeah, you make a relationship with them, and wow, that's really
Yeah.
cool. So that motivated you that, I'm not getting any younger, or, I got more good years behind me than ahead of me. And
Yes.
That's what brought you here.
Yes, and I mean, this is, like you said, it's so much fun in the Philippines. I dreamed about it every day. I watched all the YouTube channels. I just, this is how crazy it is. Before I moved to Angeles, I used to look at Google Maps every day. I would study, you know, where you can walk down the street.
Yep.
When I moved here, I moved to the Drake Hotel. I knew how to get everywhere. I didn't need any help because I already knew.
You knew the streets. Well, that's what we were doing during the pandemic. So our first trip here was back like 2014. And obviously we're in our 40s, so we're still in our career, so we don't have we haven't moved here yet. But during the pandemic, when we couldn't come, we used to do what you did. We would get on Google Earth and literally walk up and down Walking Street and just explore via the internet. So,
Yeah.
no, it's a great tool
It's awesome
now.
to know someone else that does that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did other places. I
Yeah.
did Japan, and of course, I'd like to visit Japan. But Japan's expensive.
No, definitely.
You're not getting no $15 hotels in Japan.
No, definitely not. So okay, so the old people give you the advice to live your life. You take their advice, you sell everything you got, and you move to the Philippines.
Yes.
So what was that like when you first got here? Any regret, or was it just all like, I'm so fucking happy to be here?
I was so happy to be here. I changed my hobbies. First, I started walking everywhere. In America, you know, you drive in the car.
Yeah,
North
definitely.
Carolina, you're driving in the car. When I worked at the police department, I'm in the car 12 hours a day. So when I got here, I walk everywhere. Met the nicest people. Met Chad. Met many other bloggers. Met many other Filipinos. And Filipinos can be really good friends.
Definitely.
And there was no regret, none at all. And I still don't have any regret. Sometimes I miss my family. Sometimes I miss American food.
Oh, for sure.
And American football, but I can watch it here in Angeles.
Yeah, definitely. I see you're a Atlanta fan.
Yes.
We were talking earlier about the 49ers and the old NFC West. So at what point when you were living here did you decide to start the YouTube channel?
Well, I started the YouTube channel a long time ago. I just never pursued it. I was involved in powerlifting. I did my first contest in 1986, and I competed all the way to 2009.
Wow.
And I competed in the bench press. I competed in 7 different weight classes, and I broke over 100 records.
So I got to ask, what's your bench max?
Around 600 pounds
Holy
at
shit.
244 pounds. That was my body weight, and I benched around 600 pounds.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
Those days are long ago. my shoulders are in bad shape now.
Mine too. Me and Glenn were ex-college football players. So.
Yes.
So yeah, we grew up weightlifting and training for football, and I know that both my shoulders are rebuilt, so I understand the shoulder pain for sure.
Yes.
So that you were filming, you know, the weightlifting type stuff first. That's what you first started with.
Yes, that's what I started with. Yeah. I mean, if you look back at some of my old videos, punching Keith Mackey and bench press, you'll find a lot of videos. A lot of people took them besides me because I was busy competing.
Yeah.
I probably competed over 100 times.
Wow.
Maybe 150 times.
So then when you got here, was that something you were thinking about doing, continuing the YouTube? Or?
Yes, I thought about when I got here, I was going to get involved in powerlifting. I actually made business cards, but I found out real fast that my shoulders were gone. So I took up boxing. That's what I go 6 days a week. I go boxing.
That's good.
Doesn't hurt my shoulders.
Nice. Well, fitness and health is wealth, right?
Listen, you're going to see this here in the Philippines. You're going to see a lot of foreigners come to the Philippines, and a lot of them self-destruct. They start drinking, or they chasing girls. They don't have to look good for the girls like they did in America, so they let themselves go. And once you let yourself go, that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah, it's a hard path to come back, especially as you get older.
Yeah. You're going to find that here. Unfortunately, you're going to find a lot of foreigners that will self-destruct.
That's unfortunate. So on your channel, like what do you normally? How do you plan it out? Like you just what you're doing today, or what you're going to go film? Like, where do you get your ideas from?
I try to show more of the real Philippines. Like I just walk through neighborhoods, and anybody that wants to talk to me, I talk to them. I don't care who they are. I say hello to everybody, and I don't do walking street. I don't bother the girls. I don't They don't want you filming them. The Korean people don't want you filming them. So I stay far away from that. But it's just everyday life in the Philippines or whatever I think's interesting, like street musicians or just whatever I think's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Boxing gyms. I go to a lot of boxing gyms, so I film that, and I film Adrian doing his shout out sometimes, or his. He knows every state capital, you know.
Oh, dude, the guy's a wealth of knowledge.
He knows state bird, state capital. I know like 5 state capitals.
Yeah, no, he knows them on command.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got to give shout out to Adrian. Obviously, another person that Adrian got us for our podcast is Keith. So Adrian's been huge in introducing us to different people that we can interview and just making friends with and creating a bigger community here with guys like yourself and Chad and, obviously Faith from earlier today. So yeah, no, he's a great guy.
He is a great guy, and Chad's a great guy, and there's several. CJ Abroad, he's a good YouTuber, and Focus on Asia. JR, he's a good YouTuber. These are all guys I know.
Yeah, friends of yours.
Yeah, so I might be missing some. If I am missing some of the YouTubers, please forgive me.
Yeah, comment. We'll bring you on. Anybody that wants to sit down and talk with us, we'd love to keep podcasting with any people that are filming in the Philippines and trying to do the YouTube thing. So what's your advice to people that are thinking about moving here and or starting a YouTube channel? You have advice?
Well, my advice about people moving here is this is not America, it's not Canada, so you need to be a little bit more patient when you're in the grocery store or the bank. The bank doesn't work like it does in the U.S., but you just need to smell the roses. You're in paradise. You're in a great place. So just be patient, have fun, and you're going to make lifelong friends here. In America, I was so working all the time, multiple jobs.
Yeah.
But here, you really don't have to. You can afford it here, and you can make lifelong friends.
That's cool. I got to admit, like I struggle with the patience thing here. Like I work in corporate America. I'm used to the American style of everything so fast. And you mentioned the grocery store. I have trouble in the grocery store waiting for them to ring me up. It's like, come on. But I got to remember, like, hey, it's the Philippines.
Have you been to the bank?
I have been to the bank. I have been to the bank as well.
The bank is like going to the DMV in America.
For sure. But that's really good advice because people come here and they do get frustrated. And it's like, your advice is great. Like, you're in paradise. Relax. Slow down. There's no rush, right? Like, where do you got to be?
You can go down to Daewoo. You can take a bus all over northern Philippines, and the bus ride is $400 or $500 pesos.
Yeah,
and the hotel's $15-$16.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get on that bus. I go to a province I never been to. I just walk for hours, and you meet the nicest Filipinos.
Just explore.
That's cool.
Yes. Look, I got lost one time in Zambales.
Oh, wow.
I got lost. I was really lost, and here come a preacher. He picked me up on a tricycle. Today, that preacher calls me at least 3 or 4 times a week. He always calls, always checking on me.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Lifetime friends for sure. So where's your favorite place you visited in the Philippines? Because you seem to like to travel around.
Siquijor.
Siquijor, okay.
You know that place?
I've heard of it, yeah.
It's supposed to be famous for witchcraft, but I just loved the place. It was not congested. The people were so nice. The restaurants were nice. I just loved it.
Cool. How long did you stay over there? Have you been there multiple times? Or
No, just one
once?
time, yeah. I also like, some people don't, but I like BGC right there in Manila.
Yeah, that's a cool place.
Yeah, it's like being in Toronto or something.
You got to take a boat to Siquijor, or do they have an airport there?
No, you got to take a boat.
Take a boat.
Yeah.
That's relatively cheap too, though. The boats you can take. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It was. Yes, the ferries.
That's badass. So what's your second place on the list then? Siquijor is number 1.
I like Zambales, which is one province over. I lived there for a while. I really liked Zambales. The people were nice, and it's a lot of fun. I just got bored there because I couldn't find a place for American football. I know it sounds stupid, but I got bored because I didn't have American football.
Yeah, no, I understand that. The time difference is kind of rough. We were watching yesterday morning. It was cool. We were having breakfast watching the Monday night game, which was my Niners versus the Lions, which didn't work out well for us. But that Phillies place is a cool place to watch a game.
Your Niners should have won that game.
Oh, yeah, they should have. I'd like to turn the ball over. They've had a rough year, but we've been good for a while, and the NFL stands for not for long.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What brought your fascination with the Philippines?
So, no, great question. So, here's how the story goes. So I'm originally from California. Moved to Hawaii for work. I work in scrap metal. And was working in Hawaii for a while, and I have a customer there who's Filipino. And got to know him really well. And a guy I work with was like, hey, you should tell Albert to bring you to the Philippines. I knew nothing of the Philippines. Glenn's my college roommate. We played football together. I knew he was from the Philippines, his family. Didn't know anything about it. I knew who Manny Pacquiao was. That was about my knowledge of the Philippines. And so one of my coworkers was like, yeah, you should tell Albert to take you to the Philippines. So kind of half joking, I told Albert, like, hey, like, take me to the Philippines. He's like, you got a passport? I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. Didn't hear shit from the guy for about 6 months. And then one day I'm over at his yard talking to him, and he's like, what are you doing next week? I was like, nothing, work. He's like, can you take the week off? I was like, what's up? He's like, we're going to the Philippines. Fuck it. So I went by myself with him and his buddies. I was in my early 30s at the time, and all these guys are late 50s, early 60s. A big group of guys from Hawaii, great guys. But I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Like, I knew nothing of the Philippines. I got to the airport with these guys. They're all drinking at the bar, getting ready to have a great time because they knew what they were getting into. I had no clue. And so we fly over here, and miserable long flight. My phone broke. I'm sitting in a middle seat. This is before they had the TVs on the plane. Like, I'm just in my own thoughts. Like, what the fuck did I get myself into? Why am I doing this? Like, I just want to go back to Honolulu. We land on the ground, and this big bus comes to pick us up, and we're all standing there, me and all these guys. And one of the guys yells out, let Nick, the cherry boy, get on first. I'm like, all right. And as I'm walking alongside the bus has curtains. And the curtains pull open, and there's these two girls. I'm like, what the fuck? Get on this bus. There's like 15, 20 girls, coolers of alcohol, and we take this 6-hour Friday night Manila traffic ride all the way up here to Angeles City and check into our rooms. And I'm figuring I'm going to the bed for the night. Like, we've been up for 24 hours, huge travel, 9-hour flight, 6-hour bus ride. And then they knock on my door. It's Albert and my friend Mikey, and they're like, let's go. I'm like, where are we going? Like, we're going out. And we walked into Atlantis. Yeah. And it was like walking into the gates of heaven. And that was it. And I got home, I called him. I'm like, bro, we got to go to the Philippines. Like, we got to go back. And it's funny. I mean, you can tell your side of it. Glenn didn't want to come because he came here as a kid.
Yeah, I came here as a kid and went straight to the province where my family's from. So one of my memories were basically, kind of not really doing much. And it was boring. And then I ended up, I hated flying. I just was I just hated it. And I knew the flight here was over 10 hours. And I remember being like, dude, I'm good. I don't need to go. And he ended up coming back and telling me, we got to check this out. And then I want to say, like, a couple months went by and then came across like this video on YouTube. It was the Black Eyed Peas, like this song. One of the guys in the group is Filipino, and it's More Fun in the Philippines song. And but it showed all the islands, Boracay, El Nido, Palawan, all these. And I'm like telling this guy, like if we go to Angeles City, which I knew nothing about, I'm like, we could probably, go there for a little bit and then go to these islands. And it was just like we started planning, and we've been doing it for 10 years.
Ever since, 4 times a year, ever since.
So
now let me ask you, those 4 times, they never come fast enough, do they?
Oh, my God. You have no idea. It's literally a countdown.
We literally have a countdown.
So we call it post-Philippines depression.
Yes.
So as soon as we get home, we're depressed.
Yes.
And there's only one way to change that depression. Book another fucking flight. That's it. So our lifestyle is simple. I mean, I work in a corporate job. I have a side business. I work, pretty much 6 days a week, leave my house 5 a.m., get home at 10. And I do that for 3 straight months. But the reason I can do it with a smile on my face is I know after 3 months, I'm coming here.
I just love the Philippines, and I'm so lucky to be here. And every day when I wake up, usually I eat breakfast and go boxing. And the rest of the day, I'm just usually walking around talking to people, or sometimes I take the bus up into the province and just walk for the next 2 days. That's not what everybody wants to do, but I just love to get out and see the real Philippines. And there's, 82 provinces, I think.
Wow. Well, it's cool because you've found your happiness, man. And that's what our channel's all about, is trying to motivate people to get out of the rat race, if you will, or if they're not happy with their life, make a change, do something different. And that's what we're always preaching. So, listening to people like your story is awesome because you seem to have found it,
I'm just lucky, but if you haven't been to the Philippines, come to the Philippines.
But you're lucky, but you went for it. And that's the thing is like people don't take that step, and you took it.
Another thing here about the Philippines is there is a lot of poverty. And you'll see some of the poverty, extreme poverty in some of the under the bridge and some of the other places. But not only you can have fun here, but you can really help people. You can help people, teach them how to play chess or just be kind to them. You don't always have to give money. You can actually help people, and there's a whole lot of things you can do besides partying here in the Philippines.
Oh, no doubt.
And a little help goes a long ways. And the Philippines is just it's just a lifesaver.
No, it saved our lives. I mean, for me, I was overweight, working all the time. I wasn't happy. I didn't know that there was like another side to life, basically. Like I looked back on, my college years and high school years when I was young and would party and have a great time, and I just thought that part of my life was over. And I thought as an adult, you just don't have fun anymore. This is what life is like an adult. And when we came here, I realized like there is more to life than just work, and like you said, traveling and meeting people and talking to people. And the Philippines for sure saved my life because I was on a bad path of health and not knowing where I wanted to go. And I came home from here, lost fucking 70 pounds, started working out, started enjoying work because I knew I was coming back here, and it completely changed the path of my life.
I mean, that's inspirational. 70 pounds is nothing. That 70 pounds, if you'd have kept it on, it would have killed you.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, no doubt. I grew up playing football and training, and then when I was done with college football, obviously I wasn't going to be a pro, and I'm never going to work out again. I'm tired of it. I've been doing it for so long, and next thing you know, you're in corporate America and you're eating 3 meals a day and you're not moving anymore, and next thing you know, we wake up and I was 290 pounds. I played football at 215, and it's like, God damn, I got to change something, because once I found something in life that was worth living for, if you will, it motivated me to get healthy and want to extend my life as long as I possibly can. And there's only one way to extend your life, right? And that's through health and fitness. That's the only way.
Well, when you get healthy, it makes you think clearer. You can think clearer.
100%. I totally agree.
Yeah. But that's a motivation. That motivates me, Nick.
I appreciate it.
That motivates me.
I appreciate it. Well, your story's motivating the hell out of me, so
Definitely.
that's awesome.
Where did you play college football?
So we went to UC Davis. At the time it was a Division II college in Northern California. Now it's a FCS school, so they play like in Mountain West or one of those conferences where they play. So yeah, that was us back in 2000. We graduated in 2003, so that was back in the day.
Well,
so are you somebody that always worked with your fitness, being a power lifter?
no, powerlifting is a very unhealthy sport. Like I said, I would move weight classes. That's how I won so much. I would go up and down weight class. But powerlifting is a lot of strain on your body. I mean, it's really not a healthy sport. And to stay in it as long as I did without having any major injuries, it's really hard.
I think the sign's about to fall down on you. Just press it up there. It's got tape. Just try to press it back. This is our struggle for today's podcast.
That's the worst struggle we haven't made.
There it is.
It's a great exercise that you said you do daily. It's just walking. And that's great, and I try to walk as much as possible. And I try to tell people, you see a lot of people in the gym, first of all, you can't out-train your diet. If you eat like shit, there's no workout in the world that's going to fight that, right? Like, even if you go run for 5 miles at a pretty good pace, you burn 800 calories. Like 2 slices of pizza is, 1,000 calories. So you're never going to be able to out-train your diet. But not enough people, especially in the U.S., walk and move, and walking's sustainable. Anybody can do it, you know? And so I go to the gym a lot, and I see these people hiring these personal trainers, and they're making them do crazy shit like box jumps and all this stupid shit that's not sustainable, you know? Like, that person's not going to keep doing those types of workouts. They're old and they work all day and life's hard, and it's like they're not going to keep that shit up. But something you can keep up is walking.
Yeah, you can walk. And look, I know another thing. Jump rope. A jump rope's $3. Jump rope $20. Jump rope 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. You'll lose a lot of weight.
Tons. Yeah, no, I love the fitness thing. I do a lot of body weight stuff, push-ups, sit-ups, that type of stuff. And I got pushed all into that during the pandemic when all the gyms closed. Because being a football player like you, I was into weightlifting, and then the cardio side and the physicality of doing the body weight stuff, I fell in love with it. And it's fast, it's cheap, you can do it anywhere, and it's really changed my body and my physique.
If you ask my opinion, I think calisthenics, I think body weight exercises, I think it's a lot better than weightlifting. I think it's a lot better
100%.
for you, and I think it makes you more athletic. That's just my opinion.
I totally agree with you, because having shoulder issues like you, no matter what, when I'd be weightlifting, eventually either my elbow would start to hurt or my shoulders would hurt, and I'd have to stop, you know, and I'd have to do something different. And I never thought about calisthenics until the pandemic, and then I couldn't go to the gym, so I had to do something different. And YouTube. Started following some guys on YouTube that do calisthenic workouts. You know, one was an ex-military guy, one's just another guy that does burpees, and started doing that type of stuff. And I haven't lifted a weight since the pandemic.
And guess what? It's free to do. You can do it right here in the hotel room.
Exactly. And there's no more injuries. Like, I don't have sore shoulders.
Right.
I don't have elbow injuries anymore. Like, my body feels great.
Here's the best way to start it. If you're watching TV, when the commercial comes on, do push-ups. When the commercial goes off, stop. And the next commercial, do body weight squats. Just doing while you're watching TV. That's the easiest way to do it.
Easiest way, because people say they don't have time to work out. It's bullshit.
People have time for what they want to do.
Exactly.
That's simple.
It comes down to that for sure. No, it's cool that this podcast is kind of driven into fitness. I didn't know you were a power lifter, but yeah, no, fitness is a big part of, like you said, thinking clearly, you know, being happy, being healthy. Like, you gotta work on that stuff.
Well, you know, what I do now is boxing and calisthenics. I don't lift weights anymore. I'm not against it. It's just my shoulders are really bad.
Yeah, for sure. And you said the boxing doesn't bother your body at all.
It doesn't.
And that's a fantastic workout.
Yeah.
And here's another thing. If you go to the gym, watch people. They'll do one set, they'll play their cell phone. One set, play their cell phone. Boxing, you can't take off your gloves. You don't have no time. Ding, ding, it's time to go.
Yeah. So you go to like a local boxing gym close to where you live?
Yes. I like to move around. I like to go to a different boxing gym every few months. It's just something different. But yeah, there's a gym very close to where we are right now. And it's hard. It's hard to go at that pace.
Well, anything worth doing is hard, right?
That anything in life that you really work hard at is not easy.
And then the payoff's always way better when you put the hard work in.
I think so. I think it. What'd you say in that last interview? You was talking to that young lady, and you said slow by slow, or a little step by step, something to that effect.
Well, I was telling Chad earlier, it's like, if you don't quit, you can't lose.
That's right.
You know, and that's what it comes down to. Is just, and I was telling her taking the slow path.
Yeah. When
it comes to like the YouTube thing, as you know, and as Chad knows, and as she was talking about, there's ways to blow up on YouTube faster, but is that really who you are? What you really want to do? Like you said, you got plenty of things you like to do outside of just shooting YouTube videos, but you like to shoot what you like to shoot. And it's a slow path, meaning, yeah, if you go film the Scoreboard's pool party every weekend, you're going to get 25,000 views of guys at home that want to see that, which is great. And it's like, if you want to do that, go ahead. But if you're just going to work on the stuff you want to do, it's a slower path, but it's a better one, because more people that relate to Keith and Keith's lifestyle will start following you. And there's people out there that are going to relate to it, you know, like other guys that live in the U.S. that are retired, you know, that are looking to move here, you know, they'll come across your channel and be like, fuck, I want to live like that guy, you know.
I mean, I like to watch all the channels. I get caught up. I watch stuff like that. I watched plenty of Squirrel Birds videos when I was back in the U.S., but the thing is there's consequences for your actions, and it's just not my cup of tea.
Understood, yeah. No, I totally get it. Something I love about all you guys and your guys' group here is the community you guys have. And And that's one of the most valuable things I see, because obviously you leave your home country, you leave your family behind, and lifelong friends that you made over the years, and then you come here and you guys have created this community of people that you guys spend time with.
And we all get along. All the YouTubers have tried to help me. I'm my own worst enemy when it comes to not editing, but I have fun with it. I don't want it to be a full-time job.
That's all that matters. Are you enjoying it?
Yes, I have fun with it. And does it hurt me on views and stuff? I've never made one dime off YouTube. Will I ever make a dime? I don't know. Hopefully one day, but I just want to have fun.
No, stay on that path. It's a slow road, but it will pay off eventually. I have no doubt.
Very slow.
For sure. That's awesome.
I didn't know y'all were football players.
Yeah, we used to be.
Yeah, well, you're stocky. Your shoulders are bigger than mine.
Yeah, back in the day, that was our thing. But, the negative thing about something like football, I know it's probably the same for Glenn. Growing up, that's the only thing we did. It was I played other sports, but once you get into high school, it was football. And then the unfortunate byproduct of it is I'm not an NFL player, right? So after college, it's I had no idea what I wanted to do with myself, because everything I ever worked for or thought about was football. Obviously, I'm a fan too. I'm a big Mount Niner fan. I grew up watching college football and pro football and all that type of stuff. But I graduated college. I got a communications degree. I literally went to college to play football. I wasn't I want to go study. I was never a big student. And if it wasn't for football, I probably wouldn't have gone to college. I probably would have gone into a trade or something. And so when I graduated, it's what the fuck do I do now?
Well, you were in love with football? It was your passion?
It was.
It wasn't a waste of time then?
No, I would never say it was a waste of time. I totally agree. I loved it in the fact it created a lot of discipline in my life. And I know, like we were talking about earlier, hard work pays off, and I learned it through that. And also college football was super humbling, because I was a star at football from the first time I put on pads as a kid all through high school. And then you show up in college and you're not the fucking star anymore.
You mean there's somebody faster, somebody stronger?
Exactly. And then I remember realizing I actually started first at Arizona State and then transferred to UC Davis when I met Glenn. And I tell this story. I went to my first meeting, and I was a linebacker, and I'm sitting in this room looking around at these guys. And there's one dude that I'm all right, maybe that's the guy I can take. Maybe I'm better than him. He was the star middle linebacker. His name was Adam Archuleta. He played in the NFL. The guy was a complete fucking freak, but he was small. But I'm just sitting there in the room just judging people off the way they look. I was if there's anybody I can take in this building, it's probably him. Best player on the fucking team. So it was a super humbling experience, and it made me a better person today, because I had a bit of an ego when I was young, because I was a star in high school and whatnot, and everything always went my way up until that point. And then it was welcome to the real world. And that was a very humbling, good experience for my life, getting into business later and working and just realizing there's always somebody better than you. There's always somebody working harder than you. And you use that stuff to motivate yourself,
Arizona State, Gerald Riggs. Does that name ring a bell? Gerald Riggs.
Gerald Riggs.
He played for the Falcons, number 44. He was a big star at Arizona State. This was back in the 70s.
Okay. That's why it doesn't ring a bell.
I'm a few years older than these guys. Well, the hard work you put in football, that's what made you become so successful in your businesses. And the flip of that coin that's what made you unhealthy, because you were so motivated, so working so hard, and that's what made you overweight and unhealthy, because that's what you were supposed to do.
Exactly. No, it's totally true. My whole life was work, and it just consumed me. And then, finally, the Philippines changed my whole view.
Whatever your greatest strength is in life, if you flip the coin, it can also be your greatest weakness.
It's so true.
Definitely.
That's very well put. I can't disagree with you more, or agree with you more. That's a totally good point. And that's what you gotta learn, is how to use those to your advantage, right? And I wasn't using it to my advantage in the workforce. I was going too hard with work and letting other things slide. But then opening my eyes up to there's more to life than just work, and then it's I got to get my health back, and that was paramount at the time. So. But
you did it.
Yeah, for sure, and no regrets now. So happy to be here. So what's the best part about living in the Philippines? If you had to pick one thing of everything for you, what is the best part of it?
Freedom, not having to being able to afford to live here. In the United States, I was just working multiple jobs, and I got caught up in the rat race. And it's just so expensive to live in the U.S. anymore. But here, you can have an apartment for $400, and which is a nice apartment. And it gives you the freedom to go boxing or to go traveling and stuff. And just meeting these nice people, these sweet people. Filipino people, for the most part, are so sweet. And that's just my number one thing. I just want to meet people, make friends, and
I love the freedom side of it. I've actually never heard anybody say that about this place, but it's so true. And what I love about you and your guys' group is the positivity, and that's what we've always been trying to talk about on our podcast and with our channel. You mentioned, the grocery store and the bank, and you get a lot of these people on YouTube that just live here, and then they talk shit about it because it's not the U.S., But it never makes sense to me because it's like, yeah, it might have its struggles here and whatnot, but it's like, because of those struggles gives you the opportunity to live in a $400 nice hotel and be able to live that freedom you're talking about. So how do you bash it,
they find a way.
Right?
Yeah.
They find a way.
It just blows my mind. That's why I love talking to people like you. It hits home and goes to the point of what we're trying to put out there and trying to get people to understand is creating community, creating positivity, and enjoying what you're doing.
I do enjoy it. I enjoy every day here. I mean, do I miss home sometimes? Yeah, I miss my family sometimes, and I miss silly things like the Olive Garden or the Texas Roadhouse. But now they have those things here.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I totally understand that. I mean, I lived in California for the first 30 years of my life, then moved to Hawaii. And Hawaii's a great place. It's home now. I've been there, 15 years. I love it. But there's no In-N-Out burger. There's no Mexican food. And I miss those things about California. But it ain't taking me back to California, that's for sure.
But there's so many Filipinos that live in Hawaii.
There is. And if I never went to Hawaii, I probably would have never ended up coming here. It's through a Filipino I met there that brought me here. So if it wasn't for that experience. And the great thing about living in Hawaii for us is it's one direct flight from Honolulu to Manila. It's a 9-hour flight. Like our friend Matt, who you met, he lives in Reno, Nevada. He had a 30-hour journey to get here.
Oh, mine's like 36 hours
right?
From Charlotte.
Exactly.
With all the layovers.
That's a long fucking day.
Well, it's a long 2 days, but once I land and I get out, I'm so happy.
Oh, that feeling's great when you're walking off the plane.
Yeah, it's
Good stuff.
The worst part is, like, obviously we don't live here yet, so we always got to go back, but I'm always walking off the plane super happy, and then I'm looking at the people waiting to go back, and I'm like, fuck, that's going to be me in like 2 weeks. It's going to be here before I know it.
yes.
Well, no, this has been awesome, Keith. We appreciate you coming on and telling your story. We look forward to seeing more of your channel and seeing what you're up to in the Philippines, and keep doing it, man. Keep putting that stuff out there because we love it, and the positivity is great. I keep building that community you're part of, and we look forward to hanging out with you more. Well,
listen, Nick, this has been a real eye-opening for you to tell your story about losing 70 pounds. That is something that should be not taken lightly. That's hard to do.
I appreciate it, man.
And I appreciate you being positive. I know you do things. He might not be telling all the things he does, but I know he's fed some of the children here. I know he's given out hundreds of T-shirts. He's a good guy. He's trying hard. And at the end of the day, I'm so glad to be on the podcast and so glad to got to meet you.
Likewise, man. Appreciate you too, buddy.
God bless you.
Thanks, Keith.